Hello everybody and welcome to Terra Nil, one of my favourite cozy games to ever exist. It is what you would consider a reverse city builder, and you are bringing life back to an abandoned wasteland. Now, I've played this game many times before, as it does bring me joy, and it's a game that you can simply just relax to in your free time. So this time I'm going to take you with me as I play through it from the top. Let's get started. The game has truly gorgeous graphics and a wonderful meaning to it in caring for planet and nature. And I hope you guys will enjoy playing or watching me play through this game together. So we start off in the river valley. Reclaiming this landscape will involve wind turbines for power, toxin scrubbers to clean soil, and water pumps to restore rivers. The steps to creating a temperate forest are not always straightforward, and you may need to use controlled fires before the trees can thrive. And the first step in any restoration endeavour is to restore water and plant life. To begin with, increase the greenery in this valley with irrigators, pumps, and toxin scrubbers. So, this game is pretty forgiving. It has 4 difficulty levels. I tend to play on the gardener level simply because I want to relax, but I do want that sort of strategy-esque style. As you go up in difficulty, of course, you get more strategies and you have to really think through what you're doing. But in the gardener one, you have that resource need and you can relax at the same time. So I do enjoy it, and I think it's definitely one that if you are playing through for the first time, definitely go for, because it really gives you an idea of how the game is played. So I am going to quickly run through the tutorial. Now we need our turbines for our power and our toxin scrubbers. You want to try and get these as far apart as possible so you get the best spread of cleansing, simply because as you go up in difficulties you'll notice the red overlapping. If you have your difficulty higher, that means the red means you are losing points or greenery, which is all your resource for as money, if that makes sense. So you don't want to overlap red. However, in this level it's not too big of a deal, as the game is pretty forgiving in terms of that. So our irrigators we can rotate, and I tend to have a preference for straight lines, simply because they tend to give you the best out of it rather than the other shapes. Sometimes I use the other shapes if it's necessary, but most of the time I use straight lines. So here we go, is our greenery goal. This is our currency up here and how much we have. And now we want to try and get to a certain percentage here. So I will quickly run through that. Now, as I have played this game before, I'll probably run through this fairly quickly and confidently. However, I'll do my best to sort of explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Now, I have probably a bad habit of always putting down the toxin scrubbers first, before I put down any irrigators. Simply because it brings me great satisfaction to use the irrigators all in one go. Now, this is a habit you don't want to form if you are playing on harder difficulties, because you want to make sure that your currency is quite high at all times. That way, if you meet a hitch, you don't run into problems. Now, you can tell how many points you're getting with your irrigators by the number that goes up above them. So you always want to try and go for the highest one. But I try not to worry too much in this. Most of the time I just want to relax, so it's no big deal. What I will do is show you one of my favourite objects in the game. That is a water pump. Simply because of how satisfying it is to watch the water run down and make everything on the blocks surrounding it green. So lovely. Now you want to place your water pumps as high as you can, because the higher it is, the more the water will flow. Physics. But again, it's no problem. You can, if you want, place them wherever you want. Now, I'm thinking we're gonna need to make ourselves some rivers. See what I mean in a minute. I've got to get to the resource point where it unlocks for me on this level. Pop down some of these. There we go. Those are our calcifiers. Potentially want one there. Temporarily, at least. I want that fairly close to the water. They're gonna tease me with what I want. There we go. What I want is an excavator. Now they are pretty helpful in creating rivers. And often you want rivers in order to bring more calcifiers, so you can create more areas where you can place turbines. They also become helpful later on in the game when you are cleaning up. You'll come to see what I mean. So I'm gonna just place a couple. Now I'm doing this fairly early on, as you will notice when I place down these excavators, they also poison the land around it. So I aim to always put them in as early as possible, simply so if I need them later on, it won't be too big of a deal. Now I'm gonna need one, I think, also over here, heading in this direction. So let's hit one there. There you go, you can see it more clearly now, what it does. I'm not going to worry too much. I'm also not going to worry too much about being perfect, because, and I'm going to be saying this a lot, later on they'll all be fixed up, so there's no need to worry. Right, calcifier here, wind turbine here, toxin scrubbers, and then I can place the irrigators. Perfect. Okay. Continuing onwards. Now that isn't going to give me a lot in fact, but I'm placing it there for a reason. for our next stage. I think we can get away with doing a little more. Okay. Yep, looks like we've currently reached the end. No. Okay, we will begin over here. And as you go, animals will come back, and that is definitely a goal we want to work towards. There we go. Once the backbone of your ecosystem is thriving, your next step is to increase the diversity of growing plants, introduce fynbos, wetlands, and forests. You'll also need to begin to pay attention to local climate. Now, before we do get deeply into that, I am going to finish up placing our irrigators. Okay. Right. Let's begin by placing our beehives, because they can only be placed on the trees. And we have a limited amount of trees in the area. So we are going to place those. The next thing we're going to do is our hydroponics. Now, you will have noticed why I have now placed some of these irrigators where I did, despite them not giving me the right amount of points, because hydroponiums can only be placed on the irrigators and they require them being near water. You'll see this one over here isn't lit up. So what I want to do here is place our wetlands. Going to create a small barrier there and one here as well. And then I'll finish off here. I want to create a barrier for our final step, which is creating a fire. This is because we need some nutritious ash tiles, or ashy nutrients, and you can only do that by starting a fire. However, fire spreads quite easily, so often if you can, do try and plan out. So I know this fire is going to come all the way around here. It is going to burn all the way around here, but it will miss bits with the wetlands. It will creep all the way up here, but it'll be stopped by the wetlands, creating a barrier, same with the rivers, in order to keep it hopefully in this one fairly large area. And while that is burning, we shall place down this so we can work on our climate goals. Now, each level you will have different climate thresholds. In your first level, it's pretty simple, and you want to aim in this one to get your humidity up to 70 for rain. That's what will clean up all of the little bits that we've missed. But 90% is the highest, so we can get all of our climate goals. See, here you go. It'll probably burn this one as well. But it is stopped by the wetlands. Alright. And then we can begin to place our trees. Oh, and we've reached our final step. With plant life and climate re-established, the final step is to construct an airship by recycling your buildings. As you move your presence, encourage fauna to stay by satisfying their needs so they can be the new custodians of the ecosystem. So the whole point of this is to restore and then leave nothing behind, so no evidence that you were here. Beautiful. Now we're going to place down our cloud seeders so we can kind of want to aim for somewhere fairly high. There we go. And you can hear the rain coming now. We want to get another 5% in order to... There we go. And then we have reached all of our climate goals for this level. So, we can now begin to pack up and leave. We can place down our little boat. Oh, and a research centre so we can take pictures of all the animals. Now... Oh, we're missing one, so I am going to kick out some of the bears. I would like to have some timber wolves. Once we have one of each, we will be able to start taking pictures. Essentially, you have a certain number of animals that will appear, and sometimes new ones won't appear if there are no spaces. So sometimes you have to sort of kick some out, which is kind of sad, but... And if I remember correctly, the bears should want some beehives to feed from. for now, let's start with taking pictures of our happy animals. Or wait to save them. We want gold after all. There we go. Okay. You want more beehives. Still not getting our timber wolves. Which means we might not have the biome for them. Alright, let's see if I can get our timber wolves. And then I will come back. Okay, yeah, and I'm back. And I found the timber wolves. Let's see if we can't get a picture of them. Are they not ideally happy? They are. Oh, there they are. Okay, they're all the way over here now all of a sudden. Perfect. Yay. I took a couple more gold star pictures while I was waiting for them to pop in. Let's try and get at least one more, maybe. I'll take a silver if necessary. Have to do. Alright, so I've picked up all the buildings. So now we can head on out. As we listen and we appreciate what we've done, we pick up our little boat and we head off in our airship of recycled materials. Now, I hope you all enjoyed watching this, and I hope you all had a relaxing time. And as we still have a rather large mission ahead of us, which we've only completed a small fraction of, I hope to come back with some more Terra Nil for you to enjoy next time. So for now, I'll say bye bye